Chudang Zoji Sonam La Chanjo Bardo Dani Gyabsun Nage Jinso Jebe Sonam Je Dola Benje Sanje Dowa Sanje Chudang Zoji Sonam La Chanjo Bardo Dani Gyabsun Nage Jinso Jebe Sonam Je Dola Benje Sanje Dowa Soje sonam la chanjo bardo dani gyabsun Nage jinso jebe sonam je Dola benje sanje duvarai. Now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. From now until enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And by the merit created in this practice, may I attain the state of Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings.
Yada kesan di nenga chesho jikare rizikala ta sanzambelula jange ki cheparde kesan juroa kershe chishuna oda kholo tangbo genji chogo da kholo parpa moni me chogo teni sanzambelula tangtangindo chemden gi soen de nane kobe on ke sono mado chete chave dulja 라네 고배운 거 소마도 점된 랑고 공부 말해 선점별로라 선점별로라 랑고 공부하다 가르잖아 에 콜로 타마데 소고 가르잖아 콜로 타마니난 타메나라 정화인도 된도 원 군다기 전에 내면서 레제 레버 차치는 소 인상 셈포 소 인상 때때 하디 뭐든가 지진도 필는 거로 때 다가랑 때만나지 필는 거 다 지진받 헬렌도 로마도 돌에 송과래. 보다 콜로 탐미 땅배 각도달라 눈이 장주 쓰든 봐도 저 뉴시지 아니 lembar tuas 인디가라 이 아니 체드저인 누자 인테데 봐 아니데 카타에 좀 달라 손을 마도 뭐든다 지진도 헬렌도 말해. 다 밥에 가는 눈이 남게 봐도 아니 모님에 પર마와 아니 라 거배원 그 손을 마도 준네 남캠 버도 레메 마레 아니 직 시황다 윤두미 렌두브레스 레메 마레스 보다 군다 주는 레메데 테 인디가라 레머 메바스마데 가게 제도적인 둘째 돈달러 손을 마도 인다치진 바 마레스 다테 순거 다테 게 체질에 강에 개발돼
One of the important concept of the mind-only school that we covered last Sunday was about the two definitive and interpretative ways of teaching. I'm looking at the where it was covered in the text. 이 이제 무슨 거기 나려요. 장애도 거기 나려요.
장애들이 선점을 그 주대. 이제 뭐부터 오라.
원래 주드래.
주대. 이제부터 구시 주파다. 나중에 내가 미냐도 오라.
So it's on the sort of last page of the Mind Only School on page 277 if you have the textbook. They posit a scripture whose explicit teaching is not suitable to be accepted literally as a sutra requiring interpretation, and they posit a scripture whose explicit teaching is suitable to be accepted literally as a definitive sutra. So, two types of sutras that, Buddha taught, and so their interpretation, the Mind Only School's interpretation of three turning of the wheel of Dharma, the first, second, and third, and they says that when you look at these three, the first and the second comes under the sutra requiring interpretation or interpretative sutra. You cannot accept literally what it is mentioned in the sutra, and then third turning of the wheel of Dharma is, according to this school, is definitive school. You can accept as what the word says. So again, when you look at the three turning of the wheel of Dharma, in the first turning of the wheel of Dharma, Buddha says that beginning from the form until 37 practices of the bodhisattvas, all phenomena or all things doesn't have a lack of inherent existence. But Mind Only School says that we shouldn't be accepting what word says here, but it needs to be interpreted. Needs an interpretation. So if you remember, the kind of one of the core concept of the Mind Only School, they have three what they call three phenomena or three nature: thoroughly established phenomena, other powered nature, and imputed phenomena. And according to them, other powered nature and thoroughly accomplished phenomena doesn't have true inherent existence or lack of independent inherent existence. And the imputed phenomena, according to this school, they says that it exists truly, or it has a true existence. And also, when they look at the second turning of the wheel of Dharma, in which Buddha says that beginning from the aggregate until omniscience mind, phenomena doesn't have all lack of true existence. But again, they say that this is also teachings that needs interpretation. You cannot accept what Buddha says literally, because as they when you look at the three natures of the phenomena, they accept both kind of true existing phenomena as well as lack of inherent lack of true existence phenomena from the three natures or three qualities.
Nirang Papa Lache Nyande La Lame Nyande Seattle. Pumbo Lama the Che in San Lache, Pumbo Lama the member, Lame Zeta, Naman Rosara, the Vichicare, Shiragi, Chivari Mare. These you would kuji to Tandre. Now kuji to Tandre, money around the kitchen Bachagore. Mara Gundu, Kemro Chigore, Kemro Chidi, Haji, Tongi Tobilue, Sheriff Gimazimbi, and it so Kanish Sabina, Ishiki Tori. Ishiki Tori, Laje de la, Tandini Yo, they cannot long roa, Lona Hakoya, Kadi, or the Kemdo then died Chishuina. The Sonamgi Sheriff Gimazimbi, and it's Sonam Gawa Kanish Chivaina. The Gawa Tamche Sonamgi Chachagore. Sonina Ishiki to the Sonamgi Soy. Sonamgi Sogi, Laje de la Zugutambani to Gore. Sherapki Zindengi, Gawa Kandishivina. Ti Ishiki Tori. Ti Indugala, Ti Laje de la Chugutambani to Gore. Ti Indugalang around Yula Ri Yere. Inaya, Sonamgi Sota, Ishiki So. Captain Sherab Nyanin Chini, Kuji to be attended to Sri. You catch him with us. The Indugala Camrina, Sangi Cheda Sogi Chonamla, Chanchu Partos, Rani Kizan, Adagi Jinsa give Sonam Gizena, watching the Garmish Suntua, Wachi, Zutamba to Yatama, Chibu Mata, Quada Sawa Mare. Dag Sonam Giz Sonam sonam gimaza sonam gizna ishigi choda sonam tata sharab niga duida ishigi choda sonam gi cho niga duwa de indi ti kwa yaga yare ti sungur se garum ji yana ndo sungure su na ji mone re yare otati indi wala gara jo dundu gala ji sonam dida gi malabji sonam gizna labina yaga yare otati
chasanjo dagi
진석이 손은 길락도 그래서 나기 진석이 손은 길락이나 와자요 이 시기 저도 사람이 손이 같은 죽어 그래서 근데 때문에 집에 개체 버려 어떻게 니들가 말아도 담보하기 겸로 재단이 치 인전이 바꿔지 도스지 제한테 뺏게체 버려요
And 277, we are still kind of reviewing. Also, the minority school accepts three types of nirvana: with remainder, without remainder, and non-abiding. So, with remainder refers to four destroyers with the aggregate. So, we the same thing asserted by previous schools of thoughts. They all have the same interpretation of what is with remainder and without remainder. And after that, the more important is how they interpret four bodies of Buddha. And so what is written in the text, Geshe-la said, you can read it since you have but when you look at how can we relate four bodies of Buddha to taking a refuge, we always recite refuge prayers. So we categorize, this into, the accumulations of positive merits, and the accumulation is categorized into two: the positive merits and the wisdom. So how these two are categorized, and these two can also, in a different way of saying, is method and wisdom, two aspects. And in order to achieve enlightenment, one has to have a combined practice of both wisdom as well as the method. So whatever positive activities that we accumulated without realization of emptiness, these all are considered as the accumulations of positive merits. And whatever activities that we created with the realization of emptiness is considered as accumulations of wisdom. And so when we look at these four bodies of Buddha, the first two forms, what we call body of Buddha. First two comes under the accumulations of positive merits. The second two, Dharma body, is the result of accumulations of wisdom. So the easy way would be accumulations of positive merits eventually will lead to the attainment of two form bodies of Buddha, while the accumulations of wisdom, merit will eventually lead to the attainment of the two Dharma bodies of Buddha. And so, with this understanding, when we recite, refuge prayers, we always recite refuge prayers. There is a kind of a slightly different version of the prayers when we recite. Does anybody have that? Yeah, maybe that will help. So, it's the refuge prayer and the Bodhisattva. The first verse. So the translation that we have here, Geshe-la said, that we sort of copied from Namgyal monasteries, tradition. They recite this, and the difference here is the third sentence. If I read from the beginning, from now until my enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha, and by the merit created in this practice. So here, by the merit created in this practice. So in this sentence, if you read this with the understanding of the two, ways of accumulations of positive merits, this only mentions, merit, not the wisdom part. So His Holiness also kind of, comment during teachings that it would be more beneficial if we kind of replace merit with the, by the and by the merit of accumulations. 错的是那么来的错。
错的，과대 체야. 손님기错的이식이错니가 들어가서错나가错니. 손님도 손님을错집어넣어서 이식이错된 줄로 말아.
So the two collections, we categorize that into merit and the wisdom. So when you read this English, it only kind of shows the merit, not the wisdom. So His Holiness kind of recommends that instead of merit, changing it to accumulations or collections, which the word itself kind of in Tibetan shows the combination of both. I don't know how that will stay in the English translation. If you just replace the word accumulation or collection, and by the collection created in this practice doesn't kind of make sense. I don't know. So So yeah. So the collections, when we say collection or accumulation, it includes both, whatever positive activities that we created, merit as well as wisdom, both. And the one that we recite only kind of tells, one aspect. So these are the small things that, when we recite, but we can be aware of, the highest attainment, through the four different bodies of Buddha.
The young Nengaji di Tungrusi. Ta ngaro maubana sang geagi, tapsi chela, lovalamji negamnala, kujitu chegila, purjintula nyamlen chekugora. Sonamki soda ishiki so niga saagora. Saabala purjintula nyamlen chekugora. Purjintula nyamlen chedigala, purjin tangpo sumde, sonamki so jangjang chagora. Samtengi purjinda, sharabki purjinde, 이식이 소차고 준리기 발진데 이식이 소도 손음기 소 니가래 재산 발진로나라 다 손음기 소도 이식이 소니라 무지도와 가만히 이여와 루스는 무지디기나 양치 남주 체를 팽팽그래 빙문에 결혼서 정렬이나 다부타기는 다 세보여라.
So the another important aspect is when we recite this and by the merit created in this practice, the practice that we usually do, could be any of the six perfections. So six perfections are the practice that we do, beginning with the practice of generosity.
Parjin tamategi, tamanyigi, ishigiso, chugu tambanyi tu, laje tela chugu tambanyi tu yaje. Tu sin kujitu jela, parjin ngadwa. Ta niga, dini yon achabala, zundi mena yon tapono yon marwa. Dini gombala zundu guguare, jimbatawala zundu guguare, sudim suwala zundu guguare, zundi di, sonamgi soda ishigiso, niga sagre so,
So six practice of practice of perfections, beginning with the practice of generosity, moral discipline, patience, concentration, wisdom, and then effort. In order to achieve the Buddhahood or enlightenment, we must accumulate all these six practice of perfections. And when you look closer, we can further categorize this into kind of more specific results. So the practice of generosity and the practice of moral discipline comes under the collection of and patience. Generosity, moral discipline, and patience comes under the practice of from the two accumulation or collection comes under the meritorious collection or merit. And the last two, concentration and wisdom, comes under the practice of I use the word wisdom, but in the dictionary it says insight, insight or wisdom. And again, if you kind of connect this back to what we mentioned before, so the first three practice of perfection leads to the attainment of the Buddha aggregate. What is this? And form body of the Buddha, form body, and last two, concentration and the wisdom, leads to the attainment of the Dharma body of the Buddha. And two Dharma bodies. So with that, we can see the practice of the perfection of wisdom kind of leading to the attainment of the four bodies of Buddha, two form body, two Dharma body. And from this perfection of wisdom, effort is considered as including in the both. It includes under the collection of merit as well as the accumulations of insight or wisdom, because in order to practice generosity, effort is needed. In order to have a concentration, effort is needed. So this is how we can kind of categorize six perfections leading to the attainment of the four bodies of Buddha. And so if you look at the these two collections or dual accumulation is another translation. So and use the what are the Tibetan words mu, and the word that we used before is kind of the possibilities. And when you look at so using these two accumulations, and if you look at the apply these two to the six perfections, practice of six perfections, then you can say three comes under the three are meritorious collection, not insight. Two are meritorious, two are with insight but not meritorious, and effort is both meritorious collection as well as insight. And there are lots of things that include that's neither meritorious collection nor insight. So you can use that kind of, so that way you can also use sort of logical approach to understand. And if you want to learn more detail about the Kushita Korsum Betha,
Virgin to the Kushi Lajin Jotan Kandimin, the Nangisha, the Tabatargin Salvores, the login at the Payavores.
Liberation ornament, the text in that gets that the more detail you can look at that about the practice of the six perfections and how you can connect or relate to the attaining of the four bodies of Buddha.
Mune rang rangla so tindigi number thamje kuji de tubiyagi niba chazan ji yendenge da unique yore tazan dini sunajin chuku seade karare ngoni gu seade karare kandisi tugur ngaranso semseri ge zede dandi semseri ge zede tima luburwe ha sangsona tabani lengu kuchagre se 이 원이 구차그래 디가나 세보도와 디 인두가라 디 셈딩 아주기를 열어와 두째때 다 퍼진투라 냠렌체 루부르 디마 셀탑체 두스체야데 랑오네기 레파 페제타네 미 쳔딜라네 베 겨치마 땡기 동알지 셀라기 탑시잖아 단다 제고 꼭까 미스고 장샤데 아니 로야 처처르르디 자제 풍부디 왕템보리 아니 백하보리 셈니 제고서나 누기 조금 말와 나랑도 간는 중이 뭐지 제바이나 베피모나 케바나 가르치기도 단다 디지디가라고 가서 투투지 조보 야보 예디가라 템바 줄제니 베 냠낸 제고아데 구지 두그레즈 몰람 냠네 투야요 마레 에 사브네 대비하되 땅가서 외와체니 삽 구시 주체기 답하기 답시적으로 마도 이제게 되어 말 용리 시작하나 진지 마도 아주 냠린 균 맞아베이나 다 개선 대선지 매버려 사지 대선지 용해요 말에 딘지깔 가서 투투지 게저 슈춤보지네 가서 투투지 랑기 하기 니젤랑엔 섬제야다 미젤라네 베직 징기 균너터야 다티게디 가서 투투지 가서 그래 말아서 때 가서 그래 미기 주도와 미기 주도 dombo야 사와디 다와 숨때가는 미기 주도 dom나 아니 좋아진다 낭기 펠레 차고래 인디가라 니 유셰루 마셰루 돈다데 테 오다 티게 냠네 나에 페미지베 케쳔보레 데마다 아주 자펜바디 니마지 초 아니 나메 제베이나 केकेपिंग मारते राजिंगिगा मेगन छगरम केकेपिंग योमा काजो तुबजी बे छला योबादे छला तन्नल दंबजी योयला अनि शुद्याबगाद केचमोरेस
and as you know, we have Buddha nature and potential to achieve enlightenment, and this also mentioned briefly in the Mind-Only School. How kind of we achieve the four different bodies of the Buddha. One, the true nature body of the Buddha is the ultimate result of eliminating all temporary defilements of our mind, and so the very seed, of achieving that enlightenment is within us. Everybody has that, and what we need to do is purify, temporary negative, mentalities, and for that practice, the best timing for us is now, especially with with the with human intelligence and doing our best to benefit others and eventually achieving liberation. Otherwise, this contaminated human body is very kind of dominating. As we ages, even though if our mind want to do something, the body doesn't allow to do that. There is a limitation. If you try to recite for a long time, there's a pain, back pain and the pain in the knee, and the body doesn't allow to do that. So kind of doing our best from right now. Practice, and in the practice in Buddhism doesn't come simply from making wishes or prayers. One need to create positive activities, and otherwise, as we always say, gathering here during weekends would be meaningless. And so when we say creating positive activities, the simplest or the minimum would be creating 10 positive activities, 10 virtuous activities, and then on top of that, or another way of saying is abstaining from creating 10 negative activities plus 3 poisonous three root poison, and so practice that or activities that you try to do within these kind of creation of 10 positive activities and abstaining from 3 poisonous acts, it would kind of your all other practice will come within these context. So again, kind of make it more simple. Practice whatever you do. Try not to harm other people or all negative mentalities, and try to make our own life meaningful. Meaningful life, and with the meaningful activities, we can make this life kind of with the practice something meaningful, something with the purpose.
저는 타바닐딩 구스기도 타바닐딩 구스야데 타바니데 데미니티마타 마타나 루브리티마타야 코라요 마르와 나라도 데미니티마타 세데 카르드나 디마데 셈게라진 군이 주메바데테 하고 디마키 셈데라진 주메나 단다 차소 두와 데 셈게라진 주메나 콘달나 다야 요바이 빵나 빵투야 요건지 하고라 루브로인디 데 빵나 하고이지 이나 루브리티마 셀나 다 루브리티미 타바잖아 데미티미 타바지 타바닐딩 쿠데 도수요라 데미니티마 마타바지나 ताया गुण में न दिमासम की राजी ले जो न रेवा को क्या है में दो तीन दिन दमेन ताबा इंदा लवे लुई चांचो के ओने कालम निंजे बना तो चांचो सुज्ञान जिन माइन सुई क्या ने जूम माइन रांचो यों सुशेबा ने तेला सांगी जो सिद्धि वाला उन्होंने सोसे बेसे चीज चेवर मातो सांगी कोबां जी जंबे जी यानी पे रात जूम हमारे ती सोसोला रांची सुयोरे तो जानजू सुज्ञान जी माई ओता सोसो रांची सुयोरे सुजी टेग मारे सुज्ञान जूम माई से तुझे की गुदे जेंजी रात जूम योरे ने ताते तुझे की गुदे जेंगी रात जूम दो यो ना कोई रात जूम रो खो वांग रे nga थुग मारे ला बिया जोरवा ती यो मारे सुज्ञान जूम हमारे ती तुझे की गुदे ngaरांग डेमिनिटी में तान देकिन सेमसरी किसे तगा मारे से गोरवा येला री सिगदवा ओता तारो से गोर ती सेम देंगा तो योरे ngan chumden de lobalam ge ne kapna sem kandishi yoge najinji ngato tanda yore taga najinji ta chumden de gi kandishi kule kyone jima sendu tatte najin ngato nyanen cheware ti cheba ina ini chumden de gi chwe thamje kemba najinji ngarang jon maung bana shiashi chagre shiada chada dila sangi sigor mado sangi zurdu keke yomare ati indugala tizo level lui chanchu bi sung tege tela chikti jeni toge yan yan do samlo ta du chige no one penda yongorwa ti tizo ti chunchun ji la kwa ya bo pe semla pembo do ni level lui changi jun gel manu ina gyar mu ji sung da teni ni chik toge pe kyam gorom ji chik zi dang kanga lemsang tu le ngi yorwa any 경고는 거기 숨겨대 교수진의 삼다들 대기열 마다진이 빼자들 라바를 라가 맞아 제만요 어디 두스리 간제 펜터 침부시부시를 있었나니
we use in Tibetan we use the expression two bodies of Buddha which innately pure. So the word itself kind of represents that the nature of the mind from the very beginningless is pure. And as we said before, all the negativities or delusions or defilements are temporary, and we know this kind of looking at our own mind at this moment. There are negativities, kind of negative mental emotions that comes and goes, and great master Louis Chanchup, has a very kind of a beautiful, Louis Chanchup is the Nagar Bodhi is the student of Nagarjuna, and he has a verse in which he says that enlightenment is not given by anybody, and enlightenment is not hold or by anybody, and it exists within yourself. So very kind of simple words, but tells kind of profound meaning of the enlightenment. And the very cause of the achieving enlightenment is not with somebody else. If somebody is controlling it, then you can complain that I can't achieve it because I don't have a power or authority over it. But it is not that way. It is within yourself. So it depends entirely upon your own effort whether you want to achieve that enlightenment or not. And that seed, as we said before, is Buddha nature. So looking back at the Buddha Sakyamuni's lifetime, before achieving enlightenment, his mind is just like us, ordinary human being, but he made effort, as you look at his life, and then through kind of continuous effort, he managed to achieve what is called enlightenment or Buddhahood. And we can achieve the same thing if you follow, how he made an effort. And so these kind of small notes, when you write down and think over again and again, should be helpful. And Geshe-la said he haven't seen the actual text by Nagar Bodhi, but he heard these kind of verses during His Holiness teaching, and then try to keep it in his mind. So because this kind of short, easy to understand, but it's really also helpful in thinking and understanding the enlightenment.
Oda deda kujitu tanda do sire oda gubat tartu de ngado tengi jide de kujidi tuwi na tengi jide dini rabare sem de nani luthar dewa mare semzor dewa re dewa dena dewa zache mare zamere hallebe ta ji jet mere dewa ji den de oda ti tup yagi gyude yare te tup nida mani sindi ta chandi la rale bare egi kondo farjin tu nani chandi de ke chembore so oda te dela rale bare oda ti nani ta kujitu thande teni jindi ge 다 거기 계산하니 가르잔다 지방원이 매버 두때 남자 제발 생이 여왕다시 두도아 때나니 다 오늘 생이 되게 점버리 렌드기 최 둘자면 봐 켈렘바 넘버 2도 마웨 가자데 우마베 생이 우마바 시디갈라 우마라기 바이난다 상규아이난다 넘버 2바 둘 ಸಮ야지 켈링거 마레 가르자 다 넘버 2바 시디갈라 간디지 넘버 2바 Kandrijila jagu warazna nangsu la kandriji yonge nangsu tagarangji zimban dewa de zembar tuba chagoro ta rangyu bayina uma thangyu bayina rangchen tuba rangwen tuba rangshingi tuba kebar gyuni yaw mare ta rangyu be rangwen tuba re zembar tuba yaw mare se ota duschini yang kebar chegu war otan uma be inchinjla dendu demar tuba dulsamya ke milambaji uwe de yejge tamare otati ichi ene dashe kondini yore in karan solo kesang lo tare ta tiniman dona sumba yawatri ta sumba yawatni irinjunas
the four bodies of Buddha, when you achieve that, that is the ultimate, result of the practice, and you have achieved what is called, eternal happiness or peace of the mind, and that is not contaminated, that ordinary human being experience, but what we call uncontaminated, and that comes from the practice of effort, which is one of the six perfection practice of six perfections. And so with that, we will move on to the next school, the Middle Way School, page 279. The Middle Way School, the definition, as mentioned here, it's kind of important to have this understanding, when you learn the different school of thoughts. The definition of proponent of the Middle Way School is a person propounding Buddhist tenets who asserts that there are no truly existent phenomena, not even particles. So this definition applies to both, autonomy school as well as the Middle Way consequence schools, two sub-schools of Middle Way School. And both schools says that the phenomena doesn't exist the way it, the way of existence as it appears to us, so when you go through, this Middle Way School, you will encounter different kind of words or vocabulary, and for example, self-sufficiently existence, self-sufficiently existence, true existence, and so these two words, have the same meaning according to the Middle Way consequence schools, but autonomy school kind of differentiates, between these two different words. They says that phenomena does have self-sufficiently, existing. They are self-sufficiently existence, but they do not have true existence. They kind of differentiate between these, terminology, and this will come later, more detail in the text.
ata sumpa telayena umma rangyu pata thangyu wa ni yes jiba chwa su tenla rangyu pata thangyu yu she ba ni tampola kar umma rangyu pata singi dashe yawa tupten to su da ji tampone rang singi tu ba thangye tu khelembe ngoni me par mawate rangyu be singi iba chin umma rangyu ba ji jana susum rangon tu beta odati singi dela arang singi tu ba thani to khele so ba tadi ransen sia de bagi rangi be yu khorang wone lo me bagi lo to be ja sa mai ba yu ngone chastu ure yu ngone to ini lo ge ja ni cho ge to ni ja ya ma do di mara yang dodebe ransen sia de tonda de ransen to ji de ransen de kedam ko anda ke mare didi gyugen le ke ba konam pagi demba yul pagi ngone dum de ni si gorwa tan di ransen de pagi karso yul khorang wene marangwini काजे उमा पे रांसें ट्रूप से रांगी पे रांसें ट्रूप से दे दोदे पे रांसें ट्रूप से दे तेने मारवाले दोदे पे रांसें ट्रूप दी वीकेंड तेने ट्रूप तगा रांगी रांसें ट्रूप से गोरे ता ते सम्मायम बदे तेले एने गाचा ठाड़ छिंबरता काजे ओदे दूसरा रांसें ट्रूप थांगी दुखिलिंग गोरे रांसें ट्रूप रांसें माट्रुम ना जो शिगो मारे उमा रांगी बिलोला yang shui di rang yang rangi tu mo yin bare oda ti chi rangi singi tela oda tere
page 281 sub-schools. There are two types of proponents of Middle Way school proponents of the Middle Way Autonomy School and the Middle Way Consequence School. This chapter deals with the autonomous, this is the note, the descriptions of the individual subschools. This section has two parts, description of the systems of the autonomist and of the consequentialist. The autonomous school, this section has four parts, definition, etymology, subschools, and assertions of tenets. First definition of an autonomous is a proponent of non-entityness, who asserts that phenomena exist by their own character conventionally, although not ultimately. Non-entityness, if you remember, the Sutra school also used this word, non-entityness, but they have a completely different meaning of what this word means to Sutra school and autonomous school. To Sutra school, non-entityness refers to so the phenomena exist by their own character conventionally. Proponent of non-entityness, who asserts that phenomena exist by their own character conventionally. Because I'm trying to, probably own character conventionally.
Ransin, Aranga singing to but hanging to kill him be, when you remember Mawade, Rangi singing. That in a Ransen says, he Ransen did Ransen, not on the button, don't let them button cheese the day, don't even Ransen Jura. They don't take my race.
Rangi singing to other the original jury something at city say there. One and non-entityness is by the
Ransin to but in dinner Ransen. Oh, the Ransen the down, the below Tonda the Batanza to Jura. What is on the Marella? Is a toast Raja Church. The Bilulata for them for the Yul Corone to San Juan, to what they are on Ransen Rangi Chavachini, Nuba in the Villa, Ransen the Bilula.
Just a minute. Rangi to Tanyetu. Rangi to Tanyetu kill him when you never more.
What it? He Ransen the down, Tondam the Bilula Ransen Marella.
Sorry, not non-entityness that exists by their own character conventionally. Because why I'm looking at this is their own character conventionally. There's a Tibetan word, but the Tibetan word is not exactly the same as the Tibetan word that is used in your note. If you look at the bottom number 1 is the Tibetan word written, but that is not same as the Tibetan word in the Tibetan scripture. So that's why I'm trying to find but I guess the meaning is the same here. Exists by their own character conventionally. So own character conventionally has a different meaning in Sutra school and in autonomous school. So in Sutra school, when this says own character conventionally, it refers to the existence of the phenomena by relying upon cause and conditions or cause and factors. And here, when they say, own character conventionally, the way of existence of phenomena, according to this school, shouldn't be only, imputation or designation by our mind, but they also, they say that the existence of the phenomena should be a sort of should come from objects on site or objectively. Sorry, so here, the existence of the phenomena should be, the combination of the, from the both side, the mind as well as the object side. So from the object side, there should be, designation or imputation or, labeling, and from the object's own side, should be existing objectively, or the direct translation is existing from object side. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So it should be the so according to them, so that the mind or consciousness that posits the existence of the phenomena has to be a a valid cognitive mind, not the other different types of mind that we mentioned before, like misconception or wrong views.
Lola Nangtu Hagini Yon Deji Nangorwa. You can Sula Matebaji, Yona Nangora. Taking Gogo, Ingogi, Yam, Susumi, Talatani. Any Yangan Govins are Ragubati. And Susum Jijibichi. That is Rashedre. Sumbat Telayena. Najarchubu Marakiba, the Dechubu Marakiba is. Chitin came in Rari Kelimbe Umabate, Tampetsini. Sejini, Levin Juasotabu. Rari came in Chitin Kelimbe Umabate, Nivetsini. Sejini, Levin Ledenjigin, Tabu, Star, Levin Juatsade, Najarchubu Marakiba, and Levin Ledenji, the Dechubu Marakiba. What to Chariot? Indivala, living Juato, Moni Dwella Tambu, Tenents, Sangi Tamba, Taranteg data. Isuya singing Chariot. Tam Najachubu Maragiba. Hong Kong may be Tenji, Umetenje, they or other Dindi, Nalentagi Kabachamucha, Niga. What the Indivala? Chiden Kele Millen, Rari Kele Millen, Kebertua.
Etymology, why they are called proponents of the middle way autonomous school. They are called such because they refute truly existent things through relying on a correct logical sign whose three aspects exist from their own side. So truly existent things here refers to the again, as we said before, the phenomena, the existence of the phenomena as it appears to us, the phenomena kind of independently existing out there. They refute that through relying on the three correct logical signs, whose three aspects exist from their own side. So, about the logical sign, you can read the note. It is not in the Tibetan translation, so Keshila moved to the sub-schools. There are two divisions, the Yogic Autonomy Middle Way School and the Sutra Autonomy Middle Way School. The definition of a proponent of the yogic autonomy middle way school is a proponent of the middle way school who asserts self-cognizing consciousness and does not assert external objects. An illustration is the master Shanta Rakshita, who is considered to be the founder of this sub-school. The definition of a proponent of a Sutra autonomy middle way school is a proponent of the mind middle way school who does not assert self-cognizing consciousness and who asserts that external objects exist by way of their own character. An illustration is the master Bhava Vivek, who is considered to be the founder of autonomy school and this sub-school. So the only difference that you can see between these two scholars, as you can see here, self-cognizing consciousness and the external objects. One asserts, one doesn't assert, and both of these two are great masters of Nalanda University, who involved in bringing Buddhist teachings from India to Tibet. And Shanta Rakshita, was greatly kind of responsible in bringing Buddhist teachings to Tibet, and considered as a kind of extremely important figure, and extremely kind of contention Buddhist there. Tenents Buddhist Center. Shandara Shikaji, Any Yabo Sondan Gamboche. Any Leven Pema Juni. Me the Mima bin Nobody Digala, Leven Pema Juni, never getting Mima in Butter to Levin, Jiwatogi, Saint Shake Poli, Jabu, the Twinkin to charge to Jenny. How can I choose some city up with pay? So he's one of the three important figures in bringing Buddhism to Tibet. Commonly we call them abbot, great master, and then Dharma king. And so here the Lopen or Guru refers to Guru Padma Sambhava, is who kind of eliminate all obstacles before actually bringing or establishing Buddhism in Tibet. And then Abbot is the Shanta Rakshita, who does the actual teaching. And then it was the teachings and building of the monasteries were all sponsored by the Dharma king. Chisung Deodzin is the king. And we'll stop here and we'll take a break.